Hi and welcome to today's video where I've got my fragrance purchases and usage for the months of July, August and September. I'm sorry this video is running a bit late. Normally I would try and get it up towards the end of September because I'm already trying out and using perfumes, you know, and we're well into October now. So I've got a little caddy in front of me with all the items. I don't want to shake you because you're linked to the table, but I've only bought a couple of purchases, so I've been rather restrained over the summer. So I went into Space NK to try a particular fragrance or to retry it before I took the plunge to purchase it, and instead I saw another fragrance that I wasn't too sure that I liked when I tried it previously. Tried it and fell in love. Now the problem is with fragrances, if you try a lot, and I don't go into Manchester that often, so when I do tend to try maybe hundreds of fragrances, and then you can get a bit nose blind and a bit difficult balancing the pros and cons of each fragrance. So I had tried it before. It is a Tom Ford fragrance that came out in 2021, and I know I will have tried it when I got Cafe Rose, when that was re-released a year ago. So this is Tom Ford Ebony Fumé, so it's Ebony Smoke, and this was, like I say, was out in 2021. It's an eau de parfum. Now they used to have a private range. I'm not sure, a private collection. I don't think they do anymore, but that would, if there was, that this is the private collection bottles that they use. And this one retails at £294 for 100ml, so it is within that price range of the more expensive Tom Fords. So I tried it before, like I say, and I think I've been nose blind, even though I do sniff coffee in between different fragrances. But when I tried it, I really fell in love with it. Absolutely gorgeous. Now the only thing I will say, in standing, obviously there is a bit of fragrance that's got collected in the nozzle, and it does smell a bit of sandalwood, which I really dislike sandalwood, but I didn't particularly get that in the fragrance of its own when it's used. So this one I would say is a fragrance that anyone can wear, but it is, I would say, more masculine than feminine, and it is runs quite mature, if you know what I mean. I don't think it's particularly lively or youthful in any way. So this one is described as on Fragrantica as a woody, amber, smoky, balsamic, fresh, warm, spicy, aromatic and leather. So I don't think it's fresh at all in its spiciness, but the notes the actual official notes are incense, Palo Santo, which is part of the pepper family, and then it's got black pepper, violet leaf, with middle notes of leather, labadanum, which is a plant that gives a sort of a resinous scent to it, cade oil, papyrus and rose, with a base of resins, ebony tree and guaiac wood, which is oud. So this is a very strong, resinous, smoky, leathery fragrance. Like I say, it leans slightly more masculine, but it is beast mode. So I think you have to be very careful where you wear it and who you're around, because it could upset people, I would think. I don't think it's for everyone. It's not suitable for a blind buy, but it is a beast mode fragrance. It lasts a long time. So I don't believe that it's suitable for a blind buy at all. You need to try it and see whether you can get along with it. It's absolutely beautiful. Now this may well end up being one for my birthday. Although I purchased it, it could well be that Mr. Bear decides to buy this use this for my birthday, because a fragrance I had in mind for my birthday, which is next month, isn't available in the UK for sale, and I'd have to import it. It has been previously, but just not at the moment, so I'm not sure what's going on. It is a niche house, so I think there's a supply issue. So in the absence of that, it may well be this, but we can both use this because it is unisex and he enjoys it as well. So the next fragrance that I bought, and did I show you this? I don't know if yes, I did show you the box. So the next fragrance I bought following the visit there was actually I went to the shop to try out Space NK, to try out Vireo Witchy Woo. So Vireo is a UK brand. It was started in 2021 when a series of fragrances, including this, was launched. So this is an eau de parfum. All the fragrances today are eau de parfum. And this one, it's got a beautiful bottle, a glass bottle, with a Japanese type top. Style top, and it has Vireo, it has Witchy Woo stamped into the bottle, and it has a beautiful violet to a pink gradient, but there's high translucency to it. It's very heavy, but the glass does have a deep well in it, so it's not as big as you'd think. The perfume goes from there to there. I'm using it at the moment because it's October, and I thought Witchy Woo would be quite seasonal because it is quite autumnal. So this one was released in 2021 by the UK brand Vireo. It's described as warm, spicy, woodsy, powdery, patchouli, amber, balsamic, smoky, earthy, iris and musky. So the official notes are patchouli, orris, which is a very earthy plant, sandalwood, I don't get any sandalwood in it, black pepper, white musk, cinnamon, carrot seeds and rose. So this one, I would say, is quite suitable for its name. It's as if you're in a deciduous forest, which means it's not a forest where you get evergreens such as fir trees, which you get a bit more mentholy note. Although, yeah, either cedar does fall within that, but it's not a menthol plant. But what I would say is that it's like a deciduous dry forest, like you get in the UK. And you're sitting amongst fallen leaves on the earth. I feel there's a moss note to it. It's certainly got earth, the scent of earth. So yeah, I think Witchy Woo is a very apt name. I think it's unisex, in all honesty. The only issue I would say, it doesn't last long on the skin. There's various techniques I use, but it doesn't have much projection or sillage, and it doesn't have much of a performance. But it's a small bottle; it can be topped up. So there is a 30ml and a 50ml. That's all the sizes. But it is lovely. I just wish it lasted longer. So I'm glad I picked up a 30ml rather than the 50ml. Unless I could have got it as it same price as that one. But anyway, it came in this packaging, which is biodegradable, and it is like a paper mache pulp fibre. So yeah, they're the two purchases. That's all that I've bought. And then I will go on to the fragrances that I've been using. I'll do them in some sort of order. The first one I used in July was this one. It's not in its original, it's not in the correct bottle. This is Rose Fire by Hematica, and Hematica is a French brand. It's a fairly new brand, and its unique selling point is it doesn't have any alcohols, and it has no form of alcohol in their products. I think so they can sell to the Middle East market. But what I would say, it packs a punch. It has an opening not dissimilar to Delina, and it's a fiery rose, which Delina is. But other than that, they tend to go different directions. This then becomes more gentler in its form. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It is quite unique, even though there are some similarities to Delina, and I'm really glad I got this in my collection. I bought this as a refill in a plastic bottle. I think it was from Cult Beauty, one of the big online retailers, but it was just around a quarter of the price of what it would be in its original housing glass bottle. So instead I picked this up on eBay, and I'm using it, and it's absolutely lovely. So this will go back into the shade, into the dark, which is the best way to store fragrances. So this one is it's got rose. It's described as rose, aromatic, green, floral, violety, powdery and balsamic. Although Hematica describe it as rose, Davina, which is deadly nightshade, and violet. Now I'd say it's more than that. It is very, very fiery. It's totally beautiful, but the fiery element does dissipate fairly early on in its fragrance. It is a linear fragrance, so it does change as it goes on. But it is very, very beautifully, and you can also top it up. What I did is I decanted some into a little spray pump by taking the top off. No, I poured it because this isn't crimped, and I did use, so part of this was direct from bottle, and part of it I sprayed it as I went out, or as I was out and about. Utterly love this fragrance. But so it's Hematica and Rose Fire, and this came out in 2018. The next perfume that I used came out in 2017. It was only short-lived, and that was because of the unfortunate passing of Alexander McQueen. So all his range went shortly after he passed away. And this is McQueen Eau Blanche. There was a noir version, but this was the fragrance that I like, this profile. So this is in a beautiful glass bottle. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It's very, very heavy. Now, what I will say, this was a blind buy. I try not to blind buy, but I couldn't get to test this anywhere. I wasn't particularly well at the time, so there's various reasons why I wasn't able to test it. But I was absolutely delighted with this. I think I picked this up at TK Maxx because it wasn't discontinued at the time, but it didn't have a very large release. So this one is described as white floral, tuberose, woodsy, yellow floral, ozonic. I don't consider it ozonic. Musky, animalistic, and sweet. So I don't think it's particularly sweet at all, but it is actually an indolent tuberose. So indolent means heady and heavy, and it also indicates an animalistic quality to it. That's where you get the animal from, in that it's very sensual. So it's like the smell of a hot, warm body, a pleasant, not unpleasant, very sensual. Some would say very sexy sort of fragrance. It is very much of a close body with close contact with somebody that you want to be intimate with. It's absolutely beautiful. Now, it is the best of tuberoses that I've smelled, and it is a very long-lasting one. Now, basically, tuberose should be long-lasting from the oils that are in it, but for some reason, when they blend them and they put them into fragrances, they don't tend to last long. Many fragrance houses use them, and also 90% of the tuberose that's out there has a bubblegum fragrance, which is not naturalistic. That is not how tuberose smells. Tuberose is very fleshy, and not everybody will like it. A lot of people will not like tuberose at all, or couldn't identify it, but this is absolutely stunning. So I may try and pick up another bottle because it has been discontinued in quite a number of years, but it is absolutely wonderful. So I'm so glad to try this and use this again. So its top notes are violet leaf with jasmine, sambec and tuberose, and ylang ylang with a base of woods and white musk. Yeah, the tuberose is the main feature. Absolutely stunning. If you can get one, I think it's worth a blind buy if you like tuberose, because it's going to be difficult to get hold of. But I will try and pick up another, but it's my absolute favourite. I mean, I am aware once you start using them, air gets into the bottle, but I will get one that I won't use and I'll put away. But I used that in August and loved it, and it did extremely well in the heat. But this, I think, can be worn all year round quite easily. As can the Rose Fire, in all honesty. Now, the final one I used in September, it's from a favourite house of mine, but not a favourite fragrance. This is by Molinard, which is a very, very old houses, one of the oldest perfumers there is, based in Grasse in France. And this, I have more fragrances from this house than any other, I think. I love Molinard. So I did buy this as a blind buy, and I got this and a 30ml. But I actually I've ended up using a bit of both. Now this one, I did get quite a lot of use. This was full when it went into use this time, and it was 75ml eau de parfum. So this one is described as, it came out in 2017. It's tropical, fruity, sweet, vanillic, with citrus, woodsy notes, fresh, floral and powdery. I don't describe it as fresh at all. It's got a top note of passion fruit with some mandarin orange, then grapefruit with a mid note of mango and hibiscus with jasmine, and a base of vanilla, tonka, sandalwood, rose and cedar. Now, what I will say is I don't like sandalwood or tonka, but these do not particularly shine through this fragrance at all, although I know a lot of people do love it. I would say this is a fleshy, fruity, floral. For me, though, the fruit doesn't particularly work. The passion fruit and the mango smell overly ripe, if you know what I mean, as if they've tipped the point into going off. That is only on my nose, and it could be there are green elements, which I don't tend to like green leaning fragrances, so it may be more to do with the profile. I don't think, therefore I wouldn't say it is a blind buy. It is available. Molinard do tend to keep their perfumes running for many years. Beautiful, beautiful bottle. There aren't many, I'm not sure there are many places you can try it unless you get an independent boutique store. But I think to me, it didn't have the overly fleshy, ripe nature when I first got it. So it could have changed. I would imagine, because it's not been out that long and I have stored it in optimal conditions, I wouldn't have expected it to go off. But whatever, it's not particularly one that I am drawn to, but I love the bottle. So I'm not sure whether to finish that up somehow or pass it on. But anyway, they're all the fragrances that I have used up, been using and purchased in the previous 3 months. Let me know your thoughts down below. Can I say thank you very much for watching, as I do appreciate that your time is valuable, and hopefully I shall see you soon in another video. Otherwise, please take care of yourselves, and bye for now.